Jennifer Priest here with a fun tutorial on how to create this really cool tropical scrapbook album cover using any binder style scrapbook that you might have. So this African style mask is from Smoothfoam, and it's supposed to be like African style, but I think it's tropical, so I painted it tropical, and I made this cover for a Hawaiian album for my parents. So I have this roll of burlap. This is actually burlap table runner from burlapfabric.com, and I just used it to cover this Bo Bunny album. So I've had this album in my stash for a while, and these are the Miscellaneous Me albums. So if you have one and maybe like what you wanted to do with it changed or whatever, you don't need to get rid of it. You can just cover the outside, because all of the awesome page protectors and things like that you can still buy from Bo Bunny, and you can use those in whatever the book is covered as. So here I laid out my burlap. I kind of trimmed around it in a rectangle, and then I cut the corners off so that it'd be easier for me to fold and wrap around the binder. And then I also cut snips wherever there's a fold. So this is going to be the secret to making sure that it wraps around tightly, but not too tight, because you want to be able to open it. Or actually you want to be able to close it. So you can see I cut two little flaps where the top and the bottom of that binder piece are, and then I wrapped those around and glued them down around the binding little binder section. And then here I'm just taking hot glue and then kind of folding my flaps down and around. And what I found is if you have a ruler, that's a great way to not burn yourself and kind of press down that whole flap all at once. And then as you go along, you'll probably get strings, because burlap likes to fall apart. So make sure that you cut all those strings off. And what I did here is I closed the album before I folded these flaps, because I wanted to make sure everything was going to fit well. So again, I'm just using that ruler to hold everything down as I fold it. And I kind of like messed it up here, so I peeled it off and tried to fix it a little bit, because it didn't cover that corner that well. So you can do that if you need to, which is nice. Just better if you do it right the first time, not like what I did. But it's easily fixed, and it doesn't really matter how this looks on the inside, because I'm going to use paper to cover it. So here I'm just measuring the album dimensions with that same ruler, and then I'm going to cut some brown cardstock to kind of put on the insides of my book. This is going to hold that burlap down, and it's also going to make it so that it looks more like a finished book. So now that I've glued those pieces on the inside there, I'm going to add my tiki guy. So this is Smoothfoam, this African mask, and it comes white. So you need to paint it to add the color. So I'm just using some acrylic paint, and I actually end up putting 2 coats of this on. So you're going to paint 1 coat, let it dry, and then paint another coat. That way you get that really deep dark color. And what I really liked about using Smoothfoam for this project is that on the finished project, it's got kind of a stone texture. So while that's drying, I took some wood circles, and I used these on a bunch of projects. I'm just hot gluing these to the cover here to kind of add a little bit of texture, because I got the burlap, the wood, the Smoothfoam that looks like stone. So these I got for 99 cents for like a bag of 100 of them at the craft store. Really fun, and they take ink really well. So I'm just figuring out another way to use those. And do that. Look in your stash. Use buttons or something that you have a lot of to kind of, add some interest to things. So now that my 2 layers of paint have dried on my tiki guy, I'm going to add some accents using some different colors. So I have like some coral paint here. And what I'm doing is using the pattern that's already, or the different areas that are raised and not raised on the little African mask to kind of dictate where I'm going to put my paint. So I'm just following the outlines of the eyes and the forehead there, the lips. I did kind of do my own thing with those little stripes on the cheeks there. But I just thought about, well, what would the cheeks kind of look like? And then I'm adding some shading to the lime green with some dark green. You can get as elaborate as you want or as simple as you want. And I just changed colors or changed brushes for different colors. So here I'm using some white to kind of accent and add some highlights in different places. So I know like the nose would be kind of shiny. And then I also use the white to draw on some little stripes because I want it to look kind of like war paint or kind of a tropical tribal type dealio. And then for the little yellow dots, I'm twisting a round brush into my paint and then just using that to dab on those dots above the eyes. And then I'm going to do the same thing under the chin there. So, and I also do it up there on the very, very top. I added like a big yellow circle. So I'm just kind of painting it different ways. Now, if I didn't like something, I could just paint over it again with more brown paint. So you can't really mess this up. So I keep painting, and then I'm going to add some more accent there with the white and also on the sides. And then to give it a little bit more shine, I'm going to use some metallic gold paint, and I just kind of hit the high areas with that. So the eyebrows, the tip of the nose, that little like headpiece that's on the very top of the mask, and then also right there underneath the chin, adding some more color and just some more shine. Now that my circles are dry and I'm going to let my mask dry, I'm just taking some spray ink. This is from Clear Snap, and spraying it onto my cover. I use some green and then a yellow, just sprayed in different corners. And then I'm using a paper towel to kind of sop up the excess because I want it to look almost stained and not like it was painted. So here I have a fan brush, and I'm just taking some of the leftover white and gold paint from painting the mask and kind of lightly brushing over some of the burlap and these wood circles, and that's going to give it some more dimension and also a little bit of shine. And then I raided my flower stash. Like, oh my gosh, if you've been crafting for a while, you probably have a lot of flowers like I do. And I never knew what to use all these flowers for. So I thought, okay, tropical, that's perfect. So I just got different flowers. All these are from different brands, different companies. That little tiny one is one that I die cut myself. Just all different flowers. I did kind of orange ones across the bottom, and then the next layer is pink, and then I did some green ones across the top. And you can see I kind of dumped out my little flower basket there on the side, and I'm digging through the flowers trying to figure out, okay, which ones should go where, and how many do I need. And then it's a good idea to do this once your mask is dry. So by now it should be dry, because you want to use it to kind of gauge where your flowers are and where you need more flowers at, because you don't want to put a bunch of flowers behind the mask because then no one's going to see those. So I just kind of keep using my mask to kind of gauge, okay, where's more flowers needed, where's full, and kind of figure out, okay, when can I stop gluing these flowers on. And again, I'm using hot glue. I really like to use hot glue for this kind of thing when it's going to be handled a lot because it stays together. And it also dries pretty quickly. Now, I got these little beads from a promotion that a liquor company was doing. It was through Clout or something like that. So I just took these little beads, I glued those on, added those. You don't have to use things that are specifically marked scrapbooking. And then here I have lots of hot glue gun strings. So kind of a little trick is to take your heat gun and heat up those glue gun strings and they'll melt. The trick to that is you really need to do it on a surface that is rough. So this burlap and flowers is perfect to kind of camouflage those glue gun strings. Now I'm taking some elastic lace, and this is from my Etsy shop. You can get this lace in some of our recent kits, and I know that it's in the Christmas in July kit that we just came out with. So I just tied that around the spine and tied it in a bow, and then that's going to be kind of my point to tie on all the other ribbons that I'm going to use here on the spine. So I have this really gorgeous May Arts ribbon. I think it's May Arts. I got it a long time ago at the store called Pink Pineapple. Now, to kind of make that ribbon fit in more, I shredded the ends a little bit because I wanted it to look a little bit tattered. And then again, here's some two-tone May Arts ribbon. It's like a fuchsia and a lime green together. So I like to layer the thinner ribbons. I like to layer them up when I tie them. So you can see here, there's 2 layers of that. And then, I kind of check it, see, is that enough ribbon? Is it not enough? And then I decide I'm going to go ahead and add this other layer of orange and red ribbon also from May Arts just up there to the spine. And then you can kind of maneuver around your ribbons until they look and hang the way that you want them to. And check your cover to see that everything is in its place. And I've had these Viva Decor pins, and there's also one from Art Anthology where they put you can make like pearls with them. So I did some green little blobs basically in the middle of the flowers, and then on the pink flowers I did some little peach colored blobs, and on the orange flowers I did orange colored blobs that are supposed to be like flower centers. So just, you know, get your stash out, use it up, try to do it in a fun way. Try to use things that you forgot that you had, or use them in a different way, so that you become more creative when you do that, and you have a lot more fun, and the results are different. So I hope you enjoyed watching how to make this scrapbook. I will show you how to make the inside pages in another video coming soon. If you haven't been over there, go to the smoothfoam.com website and the blog and check it out. There's tons more ideas of things to do with Smoothfoam. Thanks so much, and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you again soon.